Hey, this is Rob here with the GoPro, and just want to give you an update on Love Detroit. Okay, so yeah, my emotions driving in and pulling in and getting checked in were just anticipation, and I was just in anticipation and in hope. Like I didn't really have an idea of what God was going to do, but I just knew that He was going to do some amazing things. So I got there, and after I got checked in and everything like that, Aaron approaches me and he's like, "Hey, like we want to do a documentary with a first-time experience with somebody on Love Detroit." And just have like the testimony of what it's like for somebody who it's their first time doing like a week-long a 24/7 love trip, and what that is like. And so I'm like,
love trip.
I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, yeah, and you're gonna have a GoPro with you, and so, you know, when you're in the prayer room or when you're talking with people at the fire base, or and even out on outreaches, get some footage of just what God's doing and get like a street level of what the experience is like for a first person. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna be like saying some testimonies directly to you, and explaining some of the things that happened and some of the things that were going on that I was feeling at the time, and then also just explaining and showing some of the footage that we got on the GoPro, and showing some of the testimonies of like God actually doing this stuff on the streets. And so yeah, it was really cool. And so we got a lot of good stuff, and there's even more that, you know, as we go through, I'm just going to share the testimony, or share like what my experience was, and how I grew, and what God showed me through the process. The thing that I could say as we get into this is definitely go on a love trip. It's different than a conference or like a vacation. The biggest difference is it's put on, like when you sign up, it's put on by everybody there. And so in the past, you've been to a conference where they have like the premier worship team come in and come up on stage, and they get to be the worship team. They have the premier speakers come in and speak to you. But the cool thing about this conference is, with it being 24/7 adoration and 24/7 proclamation, it takes like every ounce of 100% of everybody to be able to pull it off. The growth that comes from that is amazing. And you get to do things that you never thought you'd be doing before. Whether it's singing in the Spirit up on stage in front of 100 people, or, you know, learning how to sing a new song, or just sing like spontaneously, or just jamming, you know, and having fun with your friends. And then the other thing too is it increases your capacity to pray. And so you find yourself getting bored in the secret place. You find yourself dragging in that aspect. Before every outreach, you spend 2 hours in prayer. And there was like my relationship with the Father just got so much deeper by going on this trip and spending 2 hours every time and just saying, I just get to be with you. Yeah. And so, and then I led a few outreaches, you know, as somebody at Love Detroit, you go on outreaches, you know, it's just what you do. And it's an equipping that now, after Love Detroit, um, it's just, you're just comfortable, you know, and it's God becomes your comfort, and your food becomes to do His will, and you're energized and strengthened by doing His will, and so yeah, it just changed a lot of things for me, and it's just a time to grow, and you don't grow when you're just a fan of all the other people doing it. You know, you don't grow when when you just bought the ticket to the event, but you grow when you're in the ring. You know, you grow when you're doing it. So, yeah. Whew, that was good.